What is going on, guys? Justin here with part 2 of my pickups from this past weekend. This is going to be everything I found on Saturday morning, and there's quite a bit of it here. If you have not already checked out part 1, which was my pickups from Friday morning, I'll put a link to that down in the description so you guys can go check that out. But yeah, like I said, I got quite a bit of stuff here, so let's get right into this with the footage I took while I was out driving around on Saturday morning. What is up, guys? Justin here, Saturday morning, just before 7:30, and I'm actually camped out for this sale up here. I'm gonna give him a few minutes before I walk up there, but basically I was at a sale just down the street from here. Is that a shark coming? No way. I might have to go. Hold on. Son of a bitch, it is.
Alright, we're moving everything out.
Nothing, we're still pulling stuff out. Yeah, it'll get too confusing if you walk in there.
Well, it took like 20 minutes, but I ended up with some pretty quality stuff here, and I'll recap it all in the pickup video. But I'm kind of behind schedule now, so I gotta head out. All right, so second sale of the day, second pickups of the day. A couple Game Gears with some games inside the case there. Things are heating up. Well, that's one way to keep the early birds away. Just a couple more pickups here. Nothing great, obviously, but it's keeping the streak alive.
Photos are $1 a piece.
Okay. Well, ask and you shall receive. Yes. So it's been a pretty solid morning so far. I'm headed over to a small community sale right now that I was kind of hoping to get to earlier in the morning, but I kind of got sidetracked with some other sales, but hopefully I have some luck here. So that community sale was kind of I didn't have real high expectations going into it. I mean, I never have much luck at that community sale. It's a lot of older people that live in that area. There was one sale though that had like a crap ton of moving boxes and bubble wrap and stuff, which I'm always in need of, so I basically grabbed as much as I could fit in my car. Yeah, I don't know that I'd be able to go much more than 30 on it, so...
No, 32.
I'll pass. Thank you, then.
Okay, yeah, thanks for checking them.
I just stopped at a sale up here, and I tried to get some footage of it. They had an NES system with a couple games and a PS1 system, but they were asking way too much for it. I think they had like $80 on the NES system and like 30 or 40 on the PS1, so unfortunately I had to pass. I guess someone had come earlier and offered like 30 for just the NES system, and I wasn't going to pay any more than that for it. I mean, it was just the system. It had a generic power cord and one controller, I think. So unfortunately, I had to leave that behind. Now, what I was trying to explain in one of those first couple clips there, before the shark rolled up, was that that sale I was at, I'd actually been given a lead for a couple weekends ago when I was at a sale on that same street. And I walked up and asked about video games, and they didn't have any at that sale, but there was a girl that was there and told me that she was having a sale at her house just up the street a few weekends later, and that they would more than likely have a bunch of old game stuff. So she gave me like the address and the date and time and stuff, and that was definitely my major lead for the whole weekend. So I made sure to get there really early, and the shark didn't stop, by the way. That shark that drove by, it was the shark I was thinking of, but he didn't stop. He kept driving because the people at the sale were still setting stuff up and whatnot. But I walked up there and asked about the video game stuff, and initially they just came out of the house with that stack of NES games that I showed that were all individually priced. mean, they had like one of the Batman games at like $40. The rest of them were like $5 or so. So I was really disappointed at first because I was like, okay, this is all they have and it's all way too expensive. But then the kid went back in the house and came out with that huge bin just full of all kinds of game stuff and told me that he hadn't gotten around to looking up any of the prices yet. But if I found something I wanted, that we would work something out. So I was like, score, yes. So I dove into this box and just started pulling out stuff that I wanted, and ended up getting most of it from him. So I'm going to start out with the Sega Genesis games that I got from the sale. I think there were 6 of them here. So we got Bubsy 1 and Bubsy 2. I believe this one's complete. This one is missing the manual. We got Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Also missing the manual. Animaniacs, which is complete. The manual's pretty beat up though. This one here, which I've never seen before, I don't know if this was an NTSC release or not, but it's DJ Boy. And the back of it looks kind of cool there too. This one is missing the manual though, I think, yet. But I'd never seen that one before. And then this last one here, which I think he actually gave me for free, was Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends. So I can't complain with free. It was missing the manual, but I don't know. I don't know if I've ever seen this one before. It might be a little bit harder to find. So those were the Genesis games that I got. I also got a couple PS2 games. Katamari Damacy, which was complete. It's been a while since I've seen this one. And a Squaresoft game, The Bouncer, which is missing the manual. Next up, I will show the N64 games that I got. I grabbed all the N64 games that he had. There was a couple that he didn't want to sell. I think it was Star Fox and maybe Pokemon Stadium or something. So obviously he still had the system that he still played. He just didn't play these games, I guess. He was getting rid of them. So it was a little frustrating that he wanted to hang on to those two. Those were 2 of the better ones. But I can't, you can't really blame someone for wanting to hang on to their games. So I'll start out with Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. Star Wars Rogue Squadron, Hey You Pikachu, which I didn't get the microphone for it. I should have asked him if he had it. Assuming he does somewhere. Madden 2000, Battle Tanks. Probably the best one that was in there, Super Smash Bros. Always a good day when you can find this at a garage sale. WCW versus NWO World Tour, Madden 64, and Lego Racers. So yeah, those were all the N64 games that he had and wanted to sell. I kind of had to pick through the rest of those games. He had like, he had Sonic 2 and Sonic 1 as well, but like he was kind of just, I would pull something out and he would kind of just give me a price for it, and like right on the spot. And so I think all those games that I got total up to like $29 or something, which was obviously a sweet deal. I mean, I think he gave me the stack of N64 games, the whole stack, for $10. And everything else in there came out to $29. So I asked if he'd throw this in for an even $30, and he did. And that's when I noticed that he actually had an NES system that he was selling. And at first I kind of just assumed that it was going to be expensive because it was sitting right next to those expensive games that he brought out. But when I asked how much he wanted for it, he said like $12 or something. It was kind of a random price. But I said, hey, would you do it for 10 and we'll make it an even 40 for everything? And he said, sure. So a pretty sweet way to start the day for $40. Smash Bros alone goes for more than that. So that was pretty sweet, and he actually gave me his number, and I gave him my number too, and I told him, hey, if you ever decide to get rid of any of your other older stuff, definitely hit me up. I would love to take a look at it. So maybe I will be hearing back from him in the future. So let me clear myself some room here, and I'll move on next to actually the very next sale that I hit. I found that Game Gear stuff. And this is pretty cool because I've never owned one of these blue Game Gear systems before. There was also a black one there. Luckily this one's the one in better shape. This one was missing the battery covers and stuff, but this one looks to be in pretty good shape. I mean, the screen has some scratching and stuff, but I'm hoping it works because this would be pretty cool. Like I said, I've never had one of these before. And there was also some games that came with it. We got Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Of course, you gotta have that one. World Series Baseball. Road Rash, Tailspin, Aladdin, The Jungle Book, and then 2 copies of The Lion King. And once again, I think I don't have the case with me. It came in some like grody looking camera case or something, but it had one of those generic price stickers that I love on it for $5 for both systems and the games. So that was pretty cool. I don't recall if I've ever found a Game Gear system at a garage sale before. That might be a first. But yeah, so the morning was heating up, and actually at the next sale that I stopped at, this wasn't too great, but I did find those 2 PS1 games for 25 cents each. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, and Spyro the Dragon. That's missing the manual, but for $0.25, I'm not going to pass it up. And yeah, those kept the streak alive. Now, a few sales after that is where I hit my second score of the morning. I walked up to this sale, and actually the lady asked me if I was looking for anything in particular, and I told her, yeah, you know, I'm looking for video game stuff. And she told me that she had brought her son's PS2 stuff, but didn't put them out for sale. And so I don't know if she just thought no one would be interested in them, or if she didn't think her kid wanted to sell them or something. But she's like, yeah, since you asked, you know, you're looking for game stuff, I'll get them out and you can check them out. So she goes into her car and comes out with this huge bag of what looked like all PS2 stuff, but there was also some Gamecube stuff in there. And this is what I ended up getting. Here's the stack of PS2 games that I got. I'm not going to show them individually. There really wasn't too many great titles in here. But there's also a couple of disc-only games on top here, 4 and Medal of Honor Rising Sun. And I also got this. This was a stack of empty cases, or cases and manuals, I guess. And the lady knew that not all the cases that she had games in them, which I think kind of helped me get a better deal on everything, just knowing that there was empty cases in there. But when she got to the bottom of the bag, she pulled these out. Small stack of Gamecube games, and the first one she pulled out was Super Smash Bros. Melee, and I was like, yes, I have to get this lot. That one was complete, and then these other 2 Gamecube games here were From Russia with Love, 007, and Mario Party 4, which was complete. Unfortunately, these 2 were not in very good condition. The discs are pretty scratched on these, and actually most of the PS2 discs are really scratched too. Unfortunately, the kid didn't really take care of his stuff, but luckily the Smash Bros. Was in pretty nice shape. So once she got all the games out, I noticed there were some controllers in the bag as well. 2 PS2 controllers, a blue one and a black one, and there's also 2 Gamecube controllers in here. So we got a black one here, and then also a silver Wavebird. Now, I did not get the receiver for it. The receiver was not in the bag, but still, to get a Wavebird was pretty sweet. And so once we had everything out, she kind of asked me to make an offer, and I threw out $20, and she was like, yeah, you know, that's kind of what I was thinking too. So pretty sweet deal for $20, definitely the second score of the morning. So I got Smash Bros. For the Gamecube and for the N64 in a matter of like probably an hour. So from there is when I headed over to that community sale, and you know, I didn't really expect to have much luck at that sale, and I didn't. I mean, there's like, I got those moving boxes and all, like 2 acres of bubble wrap. I swear, there was so much of it. They sold it to me for like $5. And then also at one of the other sales that was there, the only video game item I saw at that whole community sale was Dynasty Warriors for the PSP. At least the case for Dynasty Warriors, because when I opened it up, it was actually the UMD disc for the Longest Yard. But you know, still for $0.25, even just to get the case, I figured it was worth it. Yeah, that was the only game item I found at that whole community sale. So I did hit quite a few sales after that, actually, and didn't have much luck. That was one of the sales where I saw that $80 NES system that I had to pass on. One of the last sales I stopped at for the day, I found some 50-cent DS games, which I don't even really want to show these, so I'm not going to. I'll flash them for you guys there. They were cheap, $2 for the 4 of them, so I grabbed those. But yeah, that was all that was the rest of the finds for the morning. But yeah, 2 huge scores, obviously, and you know, maybe that kid that I bought the N64 stuff from will call me back and have some more stuff that he wants to sell. But amazing weekend. I think the Ducks hat gave me some more luck this weekend, and we'll see if we can keep this momentum going into next weekend. So again, if you haven't checked out part 1 yet, link is down in the description. Thank you guys for sticking around and checking out part 2, and until next time, take care.